Hi, sweet faces. Welcome to this week's homework where we're looking at customary length or measurement. For this first one, we had to measure our objects to the nearest inch. I'm going to bring out my ruler just to help us line it up and see where we are for this first one. It's going to be 6 inches. This is 6 inches. Over here, lining it up to the nearest inch, it's going to be 4 inches. Notice how I'm putting my ruler at the front and drawing a line to help me see. You can always use a piece of paper to push it over to help you see, because sometimes it can be difficult to see where it falls on the ruler. So if you use the edge of a piece of paper or another ruler or something straight like a folder or a book, it can help you see where it is on the ruler. This one to the nearest inch is 7 inches. The ink to the nearest inch, let me move it over just a tiny bit more, is going to be 3 inches. My pencil to the nearest inch is 9 inches. And my box of crayons to the nearest inch is going to be 5 inches. Any questions on your measurements? Please bring them with you to class. All right, love bugs, on to our next page where we are measuring to the nearest 1/2 of an inch. So if we're looking at our ruler and we're looking to see where the 1/2 of an inch is, let me change my color. This long middle line in between, those are going to be the 1/2 an inch. So we would say 8 inches, 8 1/2, 9, 7 inches, 7 1/2, 8. So those 1/2 inches are in the middle and they're the longer ones. The shorter ones are called a 1/4 of an inch. So if we're measuring this one to the nearest 1/2 an inch, it would be 11 1/2 inches. Over here to the nearest 1/2 an inch is going to be 8 1/2, because notice it's lining up directly with this line. Coming down here to the nearest 1/2 inch, it is going to be 6. Oop, I went off my line. 6 1/2 inches. Over here, this one is closest to 9 1/2 inches. The oven mitt is closest to 5 1/2 inches. And then the last one, the knife is closest to 10 1/2 inches. Any questions on your 1/2 inch? Bring them with you to class. Page 3, we are measuring to the nearest 1/4 inch. So let's get really close in on our ruler and let's refresh. 1 inch. So I'm going to make my 1 inches red so that we can see them really clearly. Our 1/2 inch, which we did on our last page, are the longer middles. And then our 1/4 inch are going to be the shorter ones. Now, when I hear quarter, I think quarters money, and that's exactly the same thing. We can use what we know about quarters to help us with these, because how many quarters are in a dollar? There's 4. How many quarters are on an inch? There's also 4. Let's look at it. So we have 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2. So as we're going through, want to look really carefully to see which quarter we're closest to. So for this first one, we are going to be closest to the 3/4 line. So we would say this is 5 3/4 inches. This little blackberry is closest right there to 3 3/4 inches. Coming down to the pineapple, we are closest to 8 1/4 inches. My apple, I lost my ruler. Where's my ruler? It's missing. There we go. This apple is closest to 5 1/4 inches. This pair is closest to 6 3/4 inches. And then our last one over here, the strawberry, is closest to 4 1/4 inches. Any questions on these? Bring them with you to class. All right, Nuggets, this time I gave you pictures and I asked you to accurately measure the toy. This means that we can do whole inches, half inches, or quarters. Measure carefully. So our toy truck, if we line this up with the end, and I draw my line, I would say that this is 7 3/4 inch. This cute little lion, he is 5 inches. My bounce ball, or my beach ball, I should say, is 4 1/4, because see, I'm right down on that first quarter, 4 1/4. My little rubber ducky, I say he's closest to 3 1/2. If you said 3 1/4, that would be fine too. Our robot, he's on the 7 inch mark. And our train, you could say either with these. You could say 9 1/2, or if you said 9 3/4, I could see you going either way. Any questions on these measurements? Bring them with you to class. Based on the description below for this one, you are going to draw your answer. So for the first one, it says a rectangle that is 4 inches long. So I want to start off by getting my ruler. No, my ruler doesn't want to come play with me. Oh, there it is. And I want my rectangle to be 4 inches long. So I'm going to draw its one side, its second side, and then I'm going to flip my ruler to connect. Make those attach. And there we go. Remember, with a rectangle, we should have 2 short sides, 2 long sides. And we want it to be a total of 4 inches. So a rectangle that is 4 inches long. A toothbrush that is 8 1/2 inches long. So first I want to find my 8 1/2, which is right there. And then I want to draw a toothbrush. So I'm going to do the toothbrush head. We all know that Mrs. L is not the best at drawing, and that is okay. And we're going to make these bristles. Look at that gorgeous 8 1/2 inch toothbrush. There we go. It's fantastic. Down here, a paintbrush that is 2 1/4 inches long. So I want to start off with finding my 2 1/4 so that I know where to draw my paintbrush. So I'm going to give it a little handle and a big top part. Give it some bristles. A paintbrush that is 2 1/4 inches long. A credit card that is 6 1/2 inches long. If you're not sure of what a credit card is, your grown-ups can help you. But it is that little plastic card that they sometimes use at the store. Sometimes it's called a debit card. They use it to pay for things. So it would be very similar in shape to your rectangle. And then it has a name, and it has some numbers. And then sometimes it has like a little piece up here. However you did it is perfect. A cell phone that is 7 1/4 inches long. So we're going to do it there. And then I'm going to make it kind of a rectangle too. Tried to keep these on the easier side. And then we're going to draw our screen outline. And we'll call it good. A cell phone that is 7 1/4 inches long. Last one, a 3-inch screwdriver. So on a screwdriver, we have the top handle. Comes up to some kind of weird top. And then our bottom handle, and it usually goes like that. Perfect. A screwdriver that is 3 1/2 inches long. Thank goodness I'm not an artist. We made it. Any questions? Bring these with you to class, kiddos. Have a great weekend.